Hi, everybody. My name is Sydney Avena, and I'm the Applied Research and Industry Partnerships Manager at the Maine Aquaculture Innovation Center. If you haven't heard of us before, we are a nonprofit, and our mission is to assist in developing socially, economically, and environmentally sustainable aquaculture opportunities in Maine. So my colleague, Emily Whitmore, who was the primary contact on this project and also our cooking host star, she could not be here today. So I'm happy to share about our project. We created Farmers Make It, which is an interactive live streamed series of cooking classes featuring Maine chefs, farmers, and aquaculture products. And our partners on this project were Maine Sea Grant and the Noah Milford Lab, as well as our partner farmers and chefs, including Pemmican Oyster Company, Wallowstone Farm, Bangs Island Mussels, the University of Maine, Spartan Sea Farms, Atlantic Sea Farm, Cook USA, and Harbor Fish Market. Next slide, please. So here in Maine, recent research, some of which was conducted by Emily, has found that there is a lack of knowledge surrounding aquaculture products and practices in Maine. These low levels of knowledge about aquaculture have been associated with negative public perceptions of aquaculture. Therefore, increasing public literacy of aquaculture is a really important strategy for improving public perceptions and supporting industry growth. In Maine, our aquaculture industry is very diverse and it's growing each year in both revenue and number of species grown. So the state produces bivalves, seaweed, and finfish for human consumption, as well as for other uses such as ornamental and restoration purposes. So recognizing the diversity of the term aquaculture and what it encompasses is when we use this one term to refer to all different types of production systems and species is going to be crucial to allow that growth to continue in our state. We also realize that people engage with aquaculture primarily through eating food, so focusing on the product and how to use it helps them to bridge that gap between something folks are less familiar with, which might be the term and the actual processes of what happens when we say aquaculture, and something they already know to be super delicious, so a salmon burger or steamed mussels or oysters on the half shell. Next slide, please. Thank you. So in order to reach these fairly lofty goals of increasing aquaculture literacy in our state and to connect people with their food, we developed a series of live streamed cooking webinars in collaboration with local chefs and aquaculture farmers. Each episode focused on a different product. We did 4 episodes on oysters, mussels, kelp, and salmon, and showcases the chef who's making an original recipe alongside our host, Emily Whitmore, and a partner farmer. So as the chef was cooking, Emily and the farmer had conversations about where the product was grown, its environmental impacts, and just the overall experience of being an aquaculture farmer and why that career was a good fit for them. So seafood can be seen as something that's can be like difficult to cook at home or just intimidating. So we wanted to develop recipes that were approachable. So we have recipes like salmon fritters, which are super great for all ages, or kelp puttanesca, which is kind of just like a pasta with kelp mixed in. It's really good and not too like overpoweringly kelpy. And we also developed some, the chefs developed some recipes that use the product in a new or unique way, like an oyster flan or a mussels gratin. Our chefs also shared some ways that they like to prepare these products in the webinars and gave tips on how to work with each product, such as how you actually shuck an oyster, and how to know when the salmon is done cooking, stuff like that. Our team also visited farms to include an On the Farm segment, which was hosted by our roving field reporter, Chris Davis, that was shown during the webinar. So this included footage to show where the product was grown. So we took visits to the Damascotta River to see an oyster farm. We went to Bangs Island Mussels to see their mussel processing facility. We went out to Spartan Sea Farms to look at a kelp line in the water. We did like an aerial flyover kind of the Cook USA salmon pens to look at those as well. So this helps to give the public a little bit more context for what an oyster, mussel, kelp, or salmon operation actually looks like on the water and what kinds of gear are involved. The webinar audience could ask questions in real time to the chef as they were cooking along at home and had questions on the method, or to the farmer about any questions about the product. And then we also created some recipe cards from episodes to distribute at our kind of public-facing events that we do, which have proved to be super popular. Talk a little bit about more of those in the next slide. So for each episode, we held it at the Maine Aquaculture Innovation Kitchen, which is at Atlantic Sea Farm down in Biddeford. And so we had a live studio audience for each episode. So in total, we had 22 people attend our little like live studio audiences. We had a virtual reach of around 60 people attend the webinars in total. And then the indirect virtual reach, we have about 1,500 views on our YouTube channel right now for all of the different videos, which has been super exciting to see. And we also have distributed probably around 250 to 300-ish recipe cards at this point. We did a bunch of tabling events kind of during the summer, and we'll continue doing those into the fall and winter. These have been super popular. People have been coming up and kind of the pictures catch their eye, and then it's kind of we start talking about, different ways to cook with seafood and maybe their favorite ways. And people have been, just kind of looking at them and being like, this looks delicious, I'll try it. The kelp puttanesca, I think, has definitely been a big hit. I really push that on people because it is so delicious. So that's been great to see. All right, next slide, please. So this quote came from a webinar attendee at our salmon episode, where the farmer Muhammad Sabibi of Cook USA appeared alongside Chef Chris Bell of Harbor Fish Market. And this attendee said, Muhammad seemed genuine, like he raised these fish with care and they were raised humanely, and like he loves the ocean. And this made me feel better about farm-raised fish. And so that is kind of like the whole thing that we were trying to do, which was awesome to hear. And it really shows that having conversations with people who are involved in the day-to-day operations of an aquaculture farm and just giving them the opportunity to talk about why they love their job really humanizes them and can cut through any like those previously held misconceptions to make people a little bit more of a fan of aquaculture. All right, next slide. So next steps for this project, we're going to continue to promote our existing videos. They're all up on our website. We have them on our YouTube channel. So continuing to promote those. We do get like pretty steady views on our YouTube channel. We would like to create some new content from our video footage to create little short how-to recipe videos and maybe post those as reels on our Instagram pages or Facebook pages. We would love to branch out into more species in the future. We've talked a lot about doing a scallop episode and cooking with some farm-raised sea scallops, which is another kind of main specialty that is kind of up and coming in our industry. And thinking about how we can broaden our reach and get these videos out to more folks who might not just be living on the coast, maybe they're a little bit farther inland. So continuing to have some conversations around that. I think I will leave that there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sydney. And definitely tell Emily thank you for all of her hard work on this. Any questions? Ooh, there's a question in the chat, actually. Do the recipe card QR codes connect people to, oh, wow, there's a lot coming in, to a way to access the webinar recordings as well?
Yeah, so the QR code on the recipe cards goes right to our project webpage, and we have all of our YouTube videos linked on the webpage for all of our species. So it's kind of like our one-stop recipe shop for all of our aquaculture species.
I think everyone's hungry.
Yeah, it was a really delicious project.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, with that, congratulations, grantees.